We're here at the 93 Rock Studios with WWE Smackdown Superstar and United States Champion, MVP. Hi, how are you?
I would be a lot better if you would say the longest reigning United States Champion in WWE history. That's a very important fact. You want to add that? Go ahead.
Yes, I would like to. The longest running U.S. Champion. Is that better?
Running, reigning, either one.
Reigning.
But I'll take that. That
You'll
works.
take that?
That
Okay,
works.
thank you very much. Now, your life should be a book. You've had such an interesting story. You grew up here in Miami, so you're a local boy, and you got in trouble with the law, spent some time in jail. How do you go from that to performing in front of 80,000 people on any given night?
Hard work, dedication, determination, tenacity, and sacrifice. There was a correctional officer named Primetime Daryl D who befriended me and said, when you get out, I want to teach you how to wrestle. I was looking for a hobby, and I just happened to stumble into my passion, and I've been blessed ever since.
And while you were training, as far as wrestling goes, you were in the gym and doing what you were doing. You were also working South Beach nightclubs.
Yeah, I've spent a long time, several years, because in the beginning, people don't realize professional wrestling, there's an independent circuit, and usually we don't make enough money to pay the bills. Not until you hit the big time, which I've done, are you able to make real money. And I had to make ends meet, so I spent a lot of time working in some of the VIP nightclubs down on South Beach, which is where MVP was born.
Any of the clubs that we would recognize, any of them still around?
Yeah, Mansion's still around.
You worked at Mansion?
I was assistant head of security at Mansion for quite some time. The old living room, which was the place to be back in the day, living room. 320, which is no longer there. It's right on, I think, Lincoln Road, where old barroom used to be.
Yep,
I don't know what
I know
it is
exactly
now.
where it is. And that's where you came across a lot of different athletes that would give you attitude. At that point, you referred to them as conceited. And that's kind of how you developed the MVP character, correct?
Absolutely. I mean, it's funny because you meet so many people, working in the clubs, and especially on South Beach, because it's a magnet. It attracts people from all over the world, all walks of life. And there were lots of professional athletes that were really cool, real down to earth, real approachable. If you get a guy like, say, Michael Jordan, for example, Charles Barkley, these guys come into your club, well, they've accomplished something, they're icons. But then you get some guy that hasn't really done much, and he signed a big contract, and maybe there was all this hope that he was going to be a all-pro running back or something, and he spent the first 3 seasons sitting on the sidelines with a broken leg. But he shows up to the club with an entourage, and people are dressed improperly, and he wants to be treated first rate. Excuse me, who the hell are you? What have you done? And having to deal with those people, I thought, man, I hate this guy. So if I hate this guy, then everybody's got to hate this guy. So I took all those elements and the elements that comprise who I actually am, put them together and put them on screen.
So now you're the guy everyone hates.
Well, you know what? Oddly enough, for some reason, everywhere I go, there's always that little pocket of people chanting for MVP. A little pocket of fans. And I want those people to know, I don't need you. I don't like you. You weren't there for me in the beginning. Don't be there for me now. Keep doing whatever the hell it was you were doing before. I'll tell you, like I told my ex-girlfriend, don't show up when I blow up. I've blown up.
And you're Mr. 305, as your bling suggests there.
Mr. 305.
Where can we find you nowadays when you do come down and party on South Beach? Where do you go?
I like to go to the places where you can't get into.
And where do you get all these 10s? You only roll with 10s, apparently. Where do you find these 10s? And do you settle for 9.5 on occasion?
I'd settle. Yeah, you're a 9.5. I'd settle for you.
Oh,
yeah,
you'll
hot.
settle for me?
You're hot. I like. Well, I tell you what. Your curves are in the right place. You got a beautiful smile.
So
nice
flattered.
smile. You should be. I like you.
I am.
Excuse me for just a second.
Before we go, will you teach me some sort of wrestling move, some sort of choke hold, something I can defend myself if I'm ever in a situation?
Let's see. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll show you something that's very small, very simple, but it's very effective, and we do it to each other all the time. You ever notice on a lockup where one guy will have his arm twisted and he can't exactly get out of it?
Right.
Well, I'll show you why. Give me your hand.
Stand up?
No, you don't have to stand up. Just reach out. It's real simple, but it's very effective. You see that?
Don't hurt a woman.
I'm not going to hurt you, but people wonder why you can't get out, why the guy can't just snatch his hand away. It's very simple. See, I've got your wrist right here?
Yeah.
You feel that?
Yeah.
If I put some pressure on that, you think you'd be able to snatch away from it?
I can't move right now.
You can't move, right?
No.
Try to pull.
Anywhere?
Try to pull your hand out.
Ow!
It's a little bit worse, right?
Yeah, that's not happening. All right, excellent. Thank you so much, MVP. I appreciate it. Thanks for the time.
Absolutely. For you, see, under normal circumstances, I wouldn't have treated her so nicely. But camera, get a little bit of that. Get a little bit of that. Show what you got. That's hot. See, she can hang out with me in the VIP. She can.
Thank you.
You're welcome.